Hi, in this video I will show you how to reduce the boilerplate code when we use ViewBinding. Okay, so as an example, we can see from the previous demos this main fragment. Okay, so we have this main fragment and also we have this main container fragment. What is the issue here? So the issue is we need to, for every single fragment we're gonna have, if we have one fragment or two, it's not gonna be much issue, but because we want to use ViewBinding in big projects probably, okay, or in our daily basis job, etc. So we need to write this one all the time. So we create one private bar, we instantiate it, when we create a new val, to use it, etc. So it's gonna be too much, and also we need to add this one here on the destroy view. So if we have one or two fragments, as I say, it's not much issue, but if we want to use this one in 100 fragments or something like this, it's gonna be madness. So let's see how we can reduce this one. Okay, so to reduce all this code and make it more accessible and more easy to read, etc. So I suggest do one thing, which is for me works very well. So I will give it to you and you feel free to use it or not. So here on this main, we can actually create a new package. This package, I personally call it base. Feel free to call it as you like. In this base, we're gonna create a new Kotlin class. Kotlin class. Yes, Kotlin class, and we call it base fragment. Okay. So in this base fragment, So in this base fragment, we have we're gonna pass a view holder. Oh, sorry, view holder. ViewBinding. Okay, so we pass this one. Okay, because every single binding class Android Studio will create for us extends from ViewBinding. Okay, let's have a look. So here in this one, so this activity main binding, if we just press Command or Control in Windows, we see it's extended from ViewBinding. And if we go to the main container, exactly the same. We can see extended ViewBinding. So what we want to is we create a base class and we're gonna accept one parameter, which is ViewBinding, and it can be any ViewBinding. Okay. So let's go back to our base fragment. We put that ViewBinding, and this one extends from fragment. All right. So now we have our base fragment, and here we can actually start to do the same as we did in the past, in the previous demos. We can use a private bar binding. Okay, and this one is going to extend for B, because it's going to be any ViewBinding we pass there when we actually use it. Okay, so one thing is this class, this class always will be extended. It never will gonna be used on its own. We're gonna pass, we're gonna make it abstract. Okay, so we have this one here. This one is gonna be nullable, and we set a null. Cool. So now here we can actually, now this time the binding variable we're gonna use, we're not gonna make it private. Let's make it protected at the moment. So we can actually use in the class we extended for. So we can fast, we put binding, and this one is gonna get exactly the same thing. And this get is we're gonna pass binding, and we put the bind to remove the nullability. So now we have this binding. Cool. So now on this one, so we can actually, as we did within the main fragment, for example, we have this onCreateView, and we pass and we create it here. So, oh, sorry, I think I lost. Yeah, it's here on CreateView. So we have this on CreateView, when pass the inflator, container, etc. So at the moment we can remove this, and now we're gonna have one very small issue, which is gonna be the following one. So we push the binding, but now we cannot use this one. We cannot use bad and then inflate, because it's not gonna be accepted. Okay, so to fix this issue, we can create another abstract method function. I'm going to create ViewBinding. and you will see why we need this. And here we return B. Okay, so now here this is abstract abstract. Yeah, of course, because we actually remove this part. Cool. So now we pass here create view binding, and then we return our binding dot root. Okay, so now we have our base fragment, and what is gonna solve this? For what is this? So we go to the main fragment now, and then we see, we have all this boilerplate code. Cool. So first of all, let's remove it. We don't need this one anymore, and we don't need this one anymore, and we don't need this one anymore. Okay. Oh, I forgot one thing. The thing I forgot is to use the onDestroy view, as we did before. So we can pass binding and then pass it null. Okay, so when we destroy the view, we set this one as a null and we don't use it anymore. So cool. Here on the main fragment, we back here, and instead of extend from fragment, we're going to extend it from base fragment. This is the abstract class we actually created. We created there, and then it accepts one parameter, and this parameter is fragment main binding. All right, so now it complains here, and it's because we have one abstract class we did before, and then we implement the members, and it's this create ViewBinding. You see, we pass B, but actually because we pass it here on top. The fragment my binding, this one becomes accepts as a return value the fragment main binding. Sorry. Okay, so we can actually put code. Okay. Oh, one thing I forgot. So we can back here. Okay. So here on this create view binding, we wanna need to prevent the error we saw before on the recycle view. Okay, where everything looks bad and it doesn't get nothing from the parent. So we're gonna pass here the inflator and container. Okay. So now we press Option Alt Enter in Windows, Option Enter here, and then we add parameters to the function. Okay. Okay. So we can pass it both. We see here we passed both. Formatting, and now we can go back to our main fragment, and we will see here, etc. So here now we're gonna actually pass fragment bind inflate, and we're gonna pass the inflated container, and then false. But this one is so long, so let's Alt or Option Command and L, and we reformat all the class itself. All right. So now we pass it here, and as you can see, it's still detecting this binding, but this binding actually is the V. Okay, but what is this B? The B is the fragment main binding we actually create here. So it's nothing else. And now, to make it more reusable, we have this main container. This one was the example we saw before about when we actually have the view already inflated, and then we use binding. But for this example, we want to remove it, and we're gonna do exactly the same. Base fragment. And here we're gonna pass fragment main container binding. Okay, so here main container binding, we just open, and here actually once we implement the members. Let's implement the member, and we can see now. You see, it expects as a return value a fragment main container binding. No problem. Let's equal, and then fragment container inflate, and then we pass here inflator container false. Cool. We have this value now, so we don't need this anymore. And we don't need this anymore. Cool. So you see how much code we need to get rid of. Is no need anymore all this code. So because everything is here. We don't need to, if we use this base class, we don't need to write this code again and again and again in every single fragment we're gonna use, okay? So now we can stop it. Because we was using before this recycle view activity, let's comment this part, okay, and then comment the other part, because we don't want to see now anymore of the recycle activity. I'm gonna leave it there for you guys, but we don't need it anymore. So we're gonna run it. We put the emulator inside, and then everything should look exactly the same as before with our base fragment. Okay, you see, we have the fragment container. Let's just check it up. Say hi, fragment container is here. Okay, so we see it, fragment container, and then if we go to the activity, we have this hello text view, as we see before, hello text view demo, exactly the same, and then container. Now it is a fragment, hello programmatic text view, and as you can see here, hello programmatic text view. So this is. So I hope that you like this one, because for me it saves a lot of time. I don't need to create this one all the time, etc. And also, you can actually experiment with it. If you want to create another abstract class and pass it, you can actually create on here. So to not create exactly the same thing, you can actually create on view created. On view created, here you can create another abstract class. Abstract function. Okay, setup views. All right, and this one is going to be unit. We don't need anymore. This one you can pass it inside here down, and then for our fragment it's gonna need this. We pass it inside. If you're not gonna use it, you pass unit. Okay, and exactly the same thing for our main fragment. Implement, setup, and if you're not gonna use it, you put unit, etc. And then if you have there one include or another class, you can go in here. You can come here and just pass the binding. Like a fragment. Let's put, for example, this one. Let's pass the. Imagine we have this binding there inside. We can actually put bind, and all these things we can put in inside. Okay, so yeah, experiment, make it as reusable as you can, and it's gonna save you a lot of time, and I hope you like it. Any questions, please leave it there, and I will reply to you. Thank you so much. Bye.